As we head into the holiday season, police are urging safety and caution for both yourself and your property.
Yeah, 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joins us live now with tips to be mindful of. Good morning, Jacob.
Yes, good morning. Look, this time of year, we're all reminded to be a little nicer, but there are still a few Grinches out there, and that's why Fayetteville police say it's important than ever to keep safety in mind. Officers urge shoppers to stay aware in busy parking lots, report anything suspicious, and always meet strangers in safe public places. If you're buying items online from places like Facebook Marketplace, police say that one of the best ways to prevent holiday package theft is to set up delivery alerts and ask a trusted neighbor to grab your package if you're not home. They also recommend options like lock boxes, requiring signatures for deliveries, and cutting down boxes after Christmas so you're not advertising what's inside your home.
I recommend getting a box cutter and cutting up the boxes and then putting them in your recycling. The recycling box I have at my house is actually like a dumpster, and you could actually cut up the boxes and just put them in there, and then that way nobody knows exactly what you got delivered or what you have in the home.
Now, if you're buying something off Facebook Marketplace and want somewhere safe to make the purchase, Fayetteville police say multiple police departments as well as fire stations in our area have safe exchange locations in their parking lots and able to do so. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that, Jacob. Well, continuing coverage in Fayetteville, the city council has again put the brakes on a rezoning request that would clear the way for a new Ramey Junior High. Tuesday night, city leaders decided to leave their proposal on the second reading. This comes after hours of public comment and debate between the council. Superintendent Dr. John Mulford says that this location is the best option for the new junior high, citing proximity to families and walkability. But residents and advocates are raising concerns about geology, environmental impacts, and more. The rezone will come back before the council on December 16th. But a little more than a year after it was destroyed by fire, we're getting our first look at what the Bricktown Brewery in downtown Fort Smith will look like when it's rebuilt. In November of last year, the restaurant caught fire, heavily damaging the old hall. Now, the building, it was later demolished, and now Griffin Property says it will build a new 2-story building to resemble the old Adelaide Hall. The downstairs will be a Bricktown Brewery restaurant and bar, and the upstairs will be an event space named Adelaide Hall. Construction will start immediately and take about a year. In other news, the Dardanelle Lock and Dam has been closed for 12 days now. It comes after a boat ran into the gate, forcing the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to shut it down for repairs. No boats have come through to make deliveries, which they say could have a negative economic impact if it's not fixed soon. But they say they're optimistic as welders work to put the final protective bumpers back on.
A lot of grit, a lot of determination, team members who are dedicated to make sure that we win as an organization and for the state of Arkansas. We will open up the lock itself, and that way that economy and that traffic and the barge traffic will pick back up again.
As boats wait to come through, the Army Corps says it's hopes that to have that gate back open later this week. The suspect in a fatal Fayetteville stabbing has been sentenced to 50 years in prison. Shaunaline Lang has pleaded guilty to killing Richard Dill at an apartment in May of 2023. Officials say Lang fled the area after the stabbing and was found weeks later in Houston, Texas. Tuesday, Lang pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and first-degree battery. It comes days before her trial is set to begin December 9th.
Well, President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faced questions on Tuesday about Hegseth's role in a recent military strike on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean.
The administration is defending the operation as necessary, even as critics push for more transparency. Jared Hill has more.
In a 2-hour cabinet meeting, President Trump distanced himself from a second military strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean on September 2nd.
As far as the attack is concerned, I still haven't gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete. But to me, it was an attack. It wasn't 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes.
The first strike on the boat reportedly killed 9 people. The legality of the second strike is being called into question. The Washington Post reported last week, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a verbal order to kill everybody on board the vessel. And then Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley apparently ordered the second strike to take out 2 survivors to comply with Hegseth's instructions. At the White House, Hegseth said he watched the first strike, but did not stay to watch the second.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand because the thing was on fire. has exploded and fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war.
Seems like he can't get his story straight.
Senate lawmakers say they plan to meet with Admiral Bradley Thursday. Amid bipartisan concern, the second strike was a war crime.
I think there's a broad consensus that it's illegal to kill people who are clinging to wreckage.
Meanwhile, as the White House halts asylum decisions in ways expanding the travel ban, President Trump lashed out at Minnesota's Somali community.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you.
He says ICE will carry out enhanced operations in Minnesota targeting undocumented immigrants.
Well, developing this morning, officials are investigating the Conway Human Development Center after a report revealed that residents were living with malnutrition.
A 43-page report from Disability Rights Arkansas says the facility failed to manage nutrition and clinical care, calling the problem systemic failures. The report cites delayed or missing documentation and staffing shortages. One example shows a resident was documented as having eaten 2 meals, but the video showed that he did not eat at all. Disability Rights Arkansas says that there is 1 dietary services director and 1 clinical dietitian for the facility that houses 470 people. They say that that's not adequate.
People have been completely skipped over, or like they didn't get them maybe like the one, and that's something we've seen in more than just the case that's highlighted here, that he was so sedated that I think he was not, like he'd be sleeping a lot and was often not brought to the meal.
The group says the report was a last report after what they call a lack of response from the Development Center and Arkansas DHS. DHS told our sister station in Little Rock the report is a, quote, distorted attempt to discredit the Human Development Centers.